I'm here with the brothers Wayne and Jason Dwyer, and we're here to find out more about this unique relationship within the Dwyer Group between the builder, Wayne, Dwyer Quality Homes, and Dwyer Property Investments, the investment specialist run by Jason. Wayne Dwyer is a local Sunshine Coast builder who's been building homes in southeast Queensland for over 35 years. Good evening, Wayne.
Well, good evening to you.
Jason Dwyer has been involved in property in some capacity for many years, but it was only in 2011 that after Wayne saw a need in the market for a specialised investment division, did Jason join the company and created Dwyer Property Investments. Jason, good evening.
Good evening.
I might just start with a little bit of background and go back to the beginning, Wayne.
Yes.
When did you build your first home on the coast?
Oh, geez, we're going way back to probably 1984, 85, probably. In Mooloolaba, built the first home there.
Have you got a photograph of the first?
I've probably got one in the archives there somewhere, yeah.
And thinking back, when you built your first home, did you imagine that you'd be running a company 35 years later, building over 50 houses a year?
I could never have imagined that, no. I could only imagined having a building company in 35 years' time, but never imagined it would have grown to the extent that it has. No.
I would imagine along the way you've probably seen some changes on the coast.
Sunshine Coast has seen a lot of changes, yeah. I've been here to witness a lot of them.
They've been
In fact,
big,
all of them.
they've been big. The changes have been dramatic. Almost more in the last 10 years than the previous sort of 20 before that.
Yeah, well, there's the new hospital, to name one. There's
That's the biggest medical precinct in Australia, and it's on the Sunshine Coast. And it's linked to the university as well, so it's a Sunshine Coast University Hospital, so a teaching hospital, so visiting people from around the world, surgeons and medical people are coming here from around the world. Just lots of research, that sort of thing. So it's created thousands of jobs and brought a lot to the region.
the new international airport with a second runway.
Yeah, that's opening pretty soon, is it?
No, it's opened.
Is it?
Yeah, opened
Okay.
in the middle of the COVID.
Right.
Okay. And of course all of these developments and this support must be attracting a lot of people to buy investment properties up here now as well.
Well, yeah, a lot of people see the benefits of it's a high growth area. So all the indicators are, if you go back to data and the research, and that's the thing that I do, then yeah, there's a lot of indicators that population is growing, the population demographic is changing, a lot more professionals coming up here. There's certain businesses that have relocated their head office, like UE Car Insurance, that's the UE Insurance. They've relocated their head office from Brisbane to the Sunshine Coast. Big overseas data cable is coming from Asia straight into the Sunshine Coast, going to be the highest speed internet in Australia. So there's lots of things happening, and if you actually list all the infrastructure projects that are going on, I can see why a lot of people other people in Queensland are a bit sort of jealous of this little pocket, because it's getting a lot of investment dollars.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It is good, but that's where people want to live as well. It's got a great lifestyle, the jobs are here, and so that's where investors are seeing that really, and seeing that capital growth is what they're after, and that's what they're getting.
And Wayne, having this specialist arm, this must give advantages so that you're building properties which are fit for purpose for investors.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Jason really knows what the investor needs, and he also knows what the tenant needs. So combining those two things together, certainly the Specialised Investment division is something what we needed.
Yes.
To be able to tie those two things together. So it's been good.
I'm interested why, because I suppose you could have used your existing sales team, but you chose to ask Jason to run this division. So there must be some quite differences and benefits perhaps of being intertwined.
Well, certainly differences. The fact that our sales team, they're a very good sales team, but they sell houses. They don't necessarily think of nor consider all of the factors that are involved into buying an investment property. It's totally different, buying an investment property.
And Jason, you must see the benefits of being linked to your brother's building business.
Yeah, very much so, because you're part of the business, you're inside the business. So working together so closely with the builder is a huge advantage over any other sort of investment company that's sort of, I suppose, prodding from the outside to try and get the builder to fit what they want. So working so closely with the builder, you get to build good quality houses, and the process is good for your client as well. They have a good experience. And the ready-built stuff that we go ahead and build and sell as well, a lot of it's built for purpose. So it's built for investors, and it's built for tenants. So tenants remain happy, they stay in there longer, and produces a better rental yield. So they're the sort of things that you need to think about when building a property to make sure that it satisfies all those criteria.
So it's probably fair to say that you're talking the language of the investor. And earlier you mentioned to me this process. You've got a 3-step process for investors.
Yeah, but it's and a lot of investors don't consider this process. They often just think, buy an investment. We want to get an investment property, so they just go and start looking at houses. It's just, honestly, it's totally wrong. It's the wrong approach. It's sort of starting for the wrong end of the stick. They've got to think about what their borrowing capacity is. So talk to a mortgage broker is the first step. The second step is they need to then understand the full their financials behind owning an investment property. Things like tax depreciation, maximising those, and what their loan costs are going to be. There's a lot involved with it that are going to be, that if you just start at the property end of it, you can sometimes get it wrong and people make mistakes. So starting with your borrowing capacity, step one. The second step is understanding the financials, your cash flow, all of those sort of things. And the third is the actual choosing a property that's going to suit those investment goals, because not one property fits all. So yeah, it's 3 basic steps.
Yeah.
And if you follow those and get good professional advice from a broker and myself, and then you get a good quality build from the builder that's fit for purpose, as you said, then you really can't go wrong.
And we do it all within the one organisation, so we cut out the middleman.
Yes. Yes, that must be a major advantage, and probably I would imagine there may be even savings in
Everyone
time.
likes value for money, don't they? and that can be offered, because we simply don't have that middleman that most other organisations have to feed.
Yeah.
Dealing directly with the builder is savings and security. It gives that security, peace of mind for the investor. They know exactly who's going to be building their property. They're not going through a third-party sort of marketing company. And the savings, because there's no, you are buying it directly from the builder, so there's not that third party that has to be paid commission, basically.
Yeah, yeah. And Wayne, I mean, obviously you can build properties anywhere on the southeast coast of Queensland. But why are most of your properties on the Sunshine Coast?
Well, you've only got to revert back to sort of what we were talking about before. I mean, the investment here that the state government's putting in, and that the council are investing here. You know, we've got the high-speed internet. You've got all of those things that we spoke about. So, if I were to invest money, it would be at the Sunshine Coast. Now I can invest money anywhere. I can go to Brisbane or go to the Gold Coast, but no, I would choose the Sunshine Coast over anything at the moment.
And you have.
And I have. Yeah. And through property investment, you know, I've been relatively successful as well. So.
Well, that's a very powerful endorsement of the coast. I'm also interested, why you guys offer a 3-year rental guarantee?
Well, the main reason is it offers peace of mind and security to the investor. A lot of people are concerned, their biggest concern often is, what if I buy a property and it sits there vacant? I've still got to pay the bank and I'm not getting the rental income. And it's a fair question. It's a genuine fear that is real. So by offering the 3-year rental guarantee, it gives people that total peace of mind that for the first 3 years they don't have to deal with property management, they don't have to deal with any risk of vacancy, so they can sleep at night knowing that they're getting their rent paid every month.
And of course we can sleep at night offering the 3-year rental guarantee as well, because we know it's on the Sunshine Coast, therefore it's a growing area, and we simply do not have the rental vacancies.
No. It's the lowest rental vacancy rate in Australia. So we're very confident of offering the 3-year rental guarantee because we know that they're not going to sit there vacant.
And then the confidence is there for the investor, because after the 3 years, they're not going to have the rental vacancies that they're going to have in some of the other places.
And I'm interested, do many people take up the 3-year rental guarantee?
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. There's not one that hasn't, really. And then after 3 years, they generally stay with us under standard property management anyway. So no, the 3 years is a good period of time. It gets everyone peace of mind, understanding security.
It gets everybody started, doesn't it?
Yeah.
After a couple of years, they can get a second investment property and put it on the 3-year. As the first one comes off the 3-year guaranteed rental, and they've got 2 properties and away they go.
I think that leads us into another interesting area, Wayne, because you know we've just gone through this unprecedented time of COVID, and clearly there's a lot of uncertainty in the investment markets, and a lot of people have seen a fall in the value of their superannuation. I would imagine that there's an opportunity for people investing in bricks and mortar. Is now a good time to be getting into property again?
There's certainly renewed interest. There's a lot more people calling up about this and they're concerned. They're getting their statement and it's dropped by 10, 15, 20%, and that's their life savings. If they haven't diversified their portfolio and actually got a property, then they're concerned, and so they should be.
I mean, the reality is their investment in shares will bounce back to what they were before, and then they'll continue to march on. I mean, that's the reality. But every year, year after year, property will outperform the share market.
Yeah. And it feels that if that's the case, you know, that's going to outperform the share market, and we're talking about a clear hotspot, the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah.
So this probably has never been a better time to invest.
And no, it's a great time to invest, and also when people are thinking of diversifying their portfolio, whatever their superannuation, most people's super is tied up in shares.
Thank you, Jason and Wayne. That was really interesting. I feel that we've got a really good insight into the reasons why having the investment arm tied so closely to the building arm is so important and offers a unique difference. You've clearly articulated why the Sunshine Coast is such a hotspot. So it's been a very illuminating conversation. Thank you both very much for your time.
Thank you.